Well, this morning, Toronto is waking up to the aftermath of a massive rainstorm. We have a live look right now at the Don Valley Parkway here at Don Mills Road. That's where water levels on the Don River are higher than normal this morning thanks to the downpour. During the height of the storm yesterday, parts of the DVP had to be closed due to flooding. As you'd imagine, the downpour made for some tricky driving at the height of the storm. There were the usual problem spots along the DVP. At one point, the road again was closed from the Gardiner up to Bayview Bloor. Further downtown, look at the mess here. This is along York Street near the Gardiner. Many stranded vehicles and white-knuckled drivers hoping their cars would make it through the floodwaters. As you can see, the gridlock was also pretty bad in that area. Now, the roof was closed at Rogers Centre for the Jays game last night, but that didn't stop the water from leaking through, unfortunately. Fans in parts of the 500 section got a bit soaked. The water wasn't enough to stop the game, though, but the stadium lights went out not long after the final pitch, and there were some electrical problems as well. And outside the stadium, a wild scene. The force of the water was shooting up through manhole covers as well. You could hear the huge metal covers rattling as a result. Now, the weather also causing problems for the TTC, and right now there is no service on a section of Line 1. No trains are running right now between Finch West and Wilson stations. That's while crews fix a track problem. It's again because of the weather. Shuttle buses have been put into service right now. The problem began overnight with the heavy rain that flooded the tracks. Work crews are on the scene right now to ensure that the tracks and signals are working properly, but so far there's no estimate on when service will be back to normal. We'll keep you up to date throughout the morning. In Hamilton, police are now searching for the suspect or suspects after a fatal overnight shooting. 4 people were shot overnight in the East Avenue North and King Street East area. It happened at about 1:40 this morning. Paramedics rushed a man and a woman to hospital where the man was pronounced dead. A short time later, 2 other males walked into hospital with serious but non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. The cause of the shooting has not been determined. Roads in the area remain closed for the investigation. Many of Ontario's beer lovers are toasting the province's Buck a Beer initiative announced yesterday by Premier Ford. But the plan to slash the price of suds is falling flat with critics. NDP leader Andrea Horwath says the incentives being offered to breweries who cut their prices will end up soaking the LCBO for big bucks.
These product placements or advertisements in the Food and Drink magazine that the LCBO has, these things have monetary value. And so here we have a premier that's, cutting income to the very poorest amongst us as a priority, and at the same time subsidizing a buck a beer. It seems to me that his priorities are completely mixed up.
As for how many breweries will take part in a Buck a Beer, City News has been reaching out, asking brewers if they will lower their prices. So far, 2 have said yes and 12 have said no. That includes Steam Whistle, Great Lakes Brewery, and People's Pint Brewery Company. Now, the Blood Brothers Brewery says when it comes to beer, you get what you pay for.
We're just not interested in the type of beer we would have to make to bring our prices down to $1. Right now we make a lot of hoppy product. A lot of product needs to sit and mature for a good amount of time, and we couldn't do it. There would be no profit.
And coming up just after 7 o'clock, we'll speak with Great Lakes Brewery about how the plan will impact the beer industry.